The Navajo night air hung thick with the scent of sage and diesel fuel as 17-year-old Charlie Begay crouched in a makeshift bunker on Bougainville Island, 1943. Around him the jungle screamed with the sounds of war. Japanese machine gun fire, the wet thud of mortars, the guttural cries of wounded Marines. Clutching a field radio to his chest, Charlie began speaking in a language no cryptographer could break, relaying coordinates that would rain artillery hell on enemy positions. To the Japanese listening in, it sounded like nonsense. To the US Marines, it was salvation. Atsa bitsile naki nis, yaate abini, Charlie barked into the handset. 2 degrees right, good morning. This is not the sanitized version of the Code Talker story you've heard. This is the explosive, unvarnished truth about how Native American warriors invented an unbreakable code based on ancestral languages, were nearly executed by their own side due to racist assumptions, had their mother tongues banned again after the war, became the most secretive unit in Pentagon history, their mission classified until 2001, and why, to this day, veterans' families are fighting for recognition of the darkest chapter in this saga. The birth of an idea from boarding school torture to battlefield genius. The irony was cruel. The very languages the US government had tried to beat out of native children in Carlisle-style boarding schools became its most potent weapon. The Choctaw experiment during World War I in 1918, German forces were intercepting Allied communications with ease until the 142nd Infantry Regiment deployed 18 Choctaw speakers. Their language, never documented by Europeans, became the first code talk. At the Battle of Forest Firm, Choctaw transmissions helped break the Hindenburg Line in 72 hours. After Pearl Harbor, civilian engineer Philip Johnston, who grew up on a Navajo reservation, pitched an audacious idea, used the unwritten, tonally complex Navajo language as an indecipherable code. The Marines were, pretty skeptical until a test. The English message was enemy machine gun nest at grid 35B. The Navajo translation Dibijaji, Ba Hoshugo Nashnish, which literally means sheep eyes happily working, the code meaning machine gun position active. Within just a few months, 29 Navajo recruits were inventing a layered encryption system. The first layer was direct translation, like turtle for tank. The second layer used alphabetical substitution, so Wolachi, or ant, meant the letter A, and the third layer included cultural references. For example, iron fish meant submarine. Want to know the terrifying reason code talkers were assigned bodyguards, not from the Japanese, but from their own troops? Subscribe now. This shocking truth drops at 100,000 likes. The Pacific Theater Voices from Hell. On Iwo Jima's black sand beaches, code talkers operated around the clock. And while cryptographers needed more than 30 minutes to encode messages, Navajo teams did it in just 20 seconds. Accuracy was key. Over 800 error-free messages were sent during the 36-day battle. And interestingly, Japanese interceptors reportedly thought they were hearing some kind of African dialect mixed with animal sounds. But the danger wasn't just from enemies. Friendly fire incidents occurred as white officers unfamiliar with the program nearly had talkers executed as so-called Japanese spies. The silent protocol. If capture seemed imminent, talkers were instructed to destroy their brains with a point-blank gunshot to preserve the code. The betrayal post-war persecution. In 1945, as victors returned to parades, code talkers faced a new war. The language ban from 1946 to 1968. Despite their service, the Bureau of Indian Affairs continued punishing native children for speaking their languages in schools. Many talkers hid their medals, fearing reprisals. The Pentagon silence. The program remained classified until 2001, denying veterans benefits. Some died never having told their families. The Stolen Legacy. In 2018, linguists discovered NSA documents showing the United States reused Navajo code structures during the Cold War, without tribal consent. The last transmission, today fewer than 150 fluent Navajo code talkers remain, but their legacy echoes on. Modern military comms. The Marine Corps' current encryption systems still use concepts from the talkers' methods. Language revitalization. Navajo schools now teach the code as both history and, honestly, a living language. The fight continues. Families are suing for royalties from movies and games that profited off their stories. These warriors saved thousands of lives only to have their own culture attacked. If you believe their full story deserves to be told, go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications.